Introduction. Greetings to all. My name is Sister Agnesa. I am the Provincial Superior of the Slovak Province. My hobby is giving spiritual accompanying, Ignatian retreat. I like the Ignatian spirituality. I pass the word to Sister Archaniela. My name is Sister Archaniela. My mission is at the provincialate. I am one of the provincial assistants. I like playing guitar, gardening, cooking, and also spiritual accompanying. Thank you. Now, Julia. I am Sister Julia Milchova. I work at the Slovak Catholic Mission in Munich. I work as a pastoral assistant of children, youth, and families. And what's my hobby? I like walking, nature, and reading. Thank you. Now you, Sylvia. I am the last one. My name is Sister Sylvia Zábavová. I have been working in Jarovnice for 11 years with Roma minority. Also, I am a university teacher in the field of social work. What I like to do? I like animals, nature, children, and I love to compose musicals, poems. It is relaxing to me. We then shoot the musicals and register them. Thank you so much. And now, dear sisters, we would like to tell you a bit about what we perceive as burning issues of our province. Perhaps we might start with a fact which is probably a consequence of the pandemic. It is a bit of apathy in our midst or lack of motivation towards our charism, living our charism, and lack of spirit of our mission. A field where we should work on is how to motivate our members and ourselves as well to live our mission with greater generosity, willingness, and readiness of our spirit of mission in our Ignatian spirituality. It is perhaps because we all are aging slowly and we are discovering now that our health and age limits keep us from accepting new mission. What we should do with it? It's a question for future. We need to think in a perspective of next 10 years perhaps, and this question might be even more urgent and we should find answers. This is one of the things I consider very important. We might be helped by this Ignatian Jubilee year, as Father General Arturo Sosa mentioned in his letter to the Jesuits, to allow the Lord to do their conversion, to allow God to transform them, that they might be able to see all the things in a new light in Christ. This should help us to love more, to have more love between us in our communities, towards the people in our missions, and to improve quality of our service. I agree. I also perceive the same thing as a priority for our province. It is a challenge to renew our first love, as the book of Revelation says, to renew the first zeal. COVID 19 has changed life and invited us not to rotate around ourselves, but serve more joyfully and work for good of the people around us. I think that one of the challenges is mostly our capability to understand our service in the Institute more responsibly and orient it towards our aim. I mean, to get our service as our own, where the Institute goes and serves to be there, as something what is also mine, I want to participate in and want to be there. It is like what Prophet Isaiah said, "Here I am, send me." It is not like what Jeremiah said, "I am very young, not capable to talk." As you said, Agnesa, we are approaching the age in which we are expected to be mature in the Ignatian spirit. "I am here, Lord, send me." This should be the thing to keep in our mind, to think where is that challenge. Do I do maximum I can? The magis? The most I can do in the service? So I personally think that our orientation should be that We should support this kind of thinking in our members, asking them to inspire them to answer the next questions. Where are you? What's your magis? What do you want? How you can serve more? Look, this is yours. We need this, and so on. So, in one word, to renew life, joy, the first love. Perhaps the pandemic time we have lived and still live is bringing us an opportunity to find new forms of our spiritual apostolate. We might do, and we have already started. Some of us are more active on the social nets and sees that there is a lot of negativism and that it's good to spread good and positive news and support people in good and invite them to some simple activities to overcome the sadness, encourage them, call those lonely at home, or to pray together online within the parish. We see it as good and very necessary, and we see this dimension is growing, and I think that also in future it will be possible to do so. This way of connection will stay with us. It is not the personal contact, but it is very helpful. Yes, the young people are in this net as well, more and more, really. They sit behind their computers, and there were online sessions and lessons during the pandemic. This have addicted them more to the computers, so this kind of the apostolate might be very helpful. Yes, I agree. It's obvious that we could do much. It looks like a new post COVID possibility is opening for our apostolate. So you mean we should draw some good also from that online way of communication? It might bring blessing when it is held well. Holy Father uses Twitter, doesn't he? Yes, he does, exactly. So it seems we have a lot of priorities or burning issues, but we could go now to those of Europe and our country, the regions around us. Julia, you mentioned the migrants in Germany where you live. Yeah, it looks like it is a very burning problem in the whole Europe. We have observed it for a couple of years, and I am touched by various opinions, by our intolerance towards diversity. We are more or less open and want to act as Christians. It is something very close to the Slovaks. I see it in the Slovak parish I work at. We are warm hearted, hospitable, but accepting the difference into our life and opening ourselves more or less in our way of thinking, in our opinion, opening heart for members of other nations and religion, this is a very burning issue. And we do not know to have a Christian attitude, I would say. In this context, it is very helpful the last Pope Francis's encyclical letter Fratelli Tutti. It questions our attitudes and confronts them with those ideal ones of a believer Christian. There is a kind of fear, we are scared. It is related to, if I can link it to the last report of the European Union about the Slovak Republic and which position we have Slovaks there. I do not want to apologize us. We really need to work on changing our attitudes. However, I think the fear is very natural in us. If our poor people think they must share their salaries and pensions with a very big Roma minority here, yes, there is an economic fear. Many Slovak families suffer poverty, mostly those with many children. There is no difference between the Slovaks and the Roma. In one word, the big families and those with single parent. It means they have two or three or more children, but just one parent. They are widowers or divorced or separated, And I cannot forget our pensioners. Their economic situation is difficult. Their pensions goes mostly to food, electricity, gas, water, and after this have no more money, they struggle. The quality of life of Slovak pensioners is very low comparing it with whole the European Union, and their pensions are very low, and when they hear about coming of more migrants and that we ourselves have very high unemployment here, low salaries, that almost half of it goes back to the state and we should share with migrants, so there is no wonder there is a natural fear. What we could do, I agree with you, to get those people via nets or in some way offer them a positive point of view. Mostly the television media offer just negative news, what could come. It strengthens our fear. We need to work with our fear and open to diversity. I had this experience working with Roma every day. It is a challenge, not only for Slovakia, which we can support positively, that there is nothing to fear, that they are people as us, and not to underline just the difference, but what connects us, its positive impact. I mean, the multicultural and enriching sharing of our lives, greater joy from a positive experience in this regard, a different point of view of our situation, our life, and so on. So we as well have the challenges working with the families according the mentioned report. It comes out naturally. It is opening to us the work with the families, poor and pensioners. We mentioned the pandemic situation concretely, telephone helpline we had, and the service of listening to is very important. We cannot be with many people in touch, but there are many lonely people, widows, and they were very grateful we called them, and with us many other congregations in Slovakia. In one word, church has been engaged in it. It is immensely necessary now. What you, Sylvia, mentioned, the family field, the family is becoming less and less place of safety and love. There is high divorce rate, or men and women live together in unmarried union, and then there is the alternate childcare, which is harmful to them. Also, there is not exceptional violence, arguing, and abuses. Lockdown even intensified it. I also noticed that during the pandemic, many hidden things have appeared we did not know about. I recently saw a picture of newborn children by surrogate mothers by surrogate uterus. Those children were placed in Ukraine, Kiev, in a hotel, waiting to be transferred to those who ordered them and could not travel because COVID. It touched me very much. Those things came out. Also, we could see how the nature was restored during the pandemic, as there was less of traffic, less airplanes, less cars. There were some dolphins near one of the Italian coast. They have not been seen for many years. Its total impact on ecology. Nature is crying around us because what we do with it and challenges us to be conscious of our responsibility for those completely vulnerable, for instance, those children who never will know who were their real parents, the same animals who depend on us. Perhaps this might be a challenge for us, for our province, to support these areas. For example, human trafficking. Some of ours work in this field. So in this way we might think in future. Thank you, sisters. I think there are many other things we might talk about. We have been talking about 2 hours to prepare and we found many matters. But this video should be just for 15 minutes and we try to summarize in some way what we wanted to say. But we are looking forward to meeting you in plenaries and saying more things directly then. Thank you for your attention, for your listening and watching. See you later online. Thank you. We are looking forward to you. Bye bye.